these moments we're gonna go
It's songs in the key of funny, mixing music and comedy. It's like everything you could wish for. It's like an opera singer covered in bees. It's like hearing your favorite song while you eat your favorite cheese. It's funny songs and funny stories. It's songs in the key of funny. Funny songs and the stories behind them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Songs in the Key of Funny. I'm Kristen Key, and we're streaming live from the Burbank Comedy Club. We took a brief hiatus for the last, 4 weeks or so because life got in the way of the podcast, but we're so happy to be back with episode 10. I know! I can't believe we've come this far. Joining me as most weeks, I have my lovely and vivacious, sensual co-host, Sean Fisher.
Thank you. Hi. I'm very flattered right now.
You should be. You look gorgeous today.
Oh,
Gorgeous,
shucks,
darling.
I'm
Gorgeous.
blushing.
So good to be here. Well, the podcast, if you're a recurring listener, we've moved from the Songs in the Key of Funny Facebook page. This is for those of you that are joining us live. For the rest of you listening on iTunes, disregard. For those of you that are following us live, we moved from the Songs in the Key of Funny Facebook page over to the Flappers Burbank Comedy Facebook page because, frankly, they have more fans. So we're going.
That makes us more official.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whatever. We're going to piggyback off of Flappers.
Yeah, we got
and,
promoted.
Whatever. We'll take them. And then we'll share it back with ours, and we'll try to grow our following. For the 12 of you that have followed us intrepidly through all 10 episodes, thank you. And you will be receiving the Songs in the Key of Funny gift of the week, which is a sip from my water glass. Now, as you know, if you're a longtime listener, all 10 episodes, or 9 episodes so far, we like to pay tribute to the up-and-coming and current musical comedians of today. But we can't do that without nodding our hats to the musical comedians of the past. And we do that by honoring a classic song of the week. This week, because our guests wrote the musical Trump in Space. We decided to go with a space theme, and so our classic song of the week this week is the Galaxy song from the Erics, Monty Python, Eric Idle, and Eric Dupree. And if you're not familiar with it, please download it. And we don't want to break any copyright infringement, so we'll play just a tidbit to give you a taste of the Galaxy song. Just remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving and revolving at 900 miles an hour. That's orbiting at 19 miles a second, so it's reckoned a sun that is the source of all our power. The sun and you and me and all the stars that we can see are moving at 1,000,000 miles a day in an outer spiral arm at 40,000 miles an hour in the galaxy we call the Milky Way. And that was the Galaxy song by the Erics, Monty Python, and that is this week's Classic Song of the Week. 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 Never gets old. That's how that's done. All right. So moving into, I think we're getting a formula for this show. There's a format.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, I know. It's feeling pretty good. And if you agree, you can comment on our Facebook page or YouTube because we read all of our comments. Or actually, we have our lovely producers in the back do that for us. Let's say hello to Roxy the Fox. She's still there. There she is. And our new Lauren, named Alex.
I'm Alex.
He sounds suspiciously like Roxy the Fox. So they'll be reading all of our comments and suggestions, and we usually get like one every 8 episodes. So
it could be you.
The chances are good.
So the reason you probably tune in is to hear each week we have a musical guest. And this week I'm so excited because they were a listener that made it on the show. It's a real Cinderella story. These guys were just sitting at home listening to the podcast. And
Never
they thought,
picked up an instrument in their lives.
Not even, like, I'm not funny or a musician. I dream of being on Kristen Key and Sean Fisher's Songs in the Key of Funny podcast. How do I do this? And what they did was they sent me a Facebook message on the Songs in the Key of Funny Facebook page. And I read it. And it said, Kristen, can we come on your podcast? And I said, okay. And so that leads us to right now. And may I introduce to you The Sam and Tony Show, playing their new single, Song You Made Me Write.
That's Sam.
Nah, that's Tony.
We're the Sam and Tony Show.
Oh. This song's about Tony, by the way. I'll write you a love song, but I won't keep loving you.
No, I won't.
I'd rather write you the wrong song, mostly about the things you put me through. Promise I won't be gentle, and I promise I won't be kind.
No, I won't.
Don't know just what I'm thinking when you're always on my mind. Is it all you thought it would be?
Is it all you thought it would be?
Is it all you hoped it would be?
Is it all you hoped it would be?
Does it bring a tear to your eye, the thought of me? This is a song that you made me write. When you hear it, are you thinking of me? This is a song that you made me write. Is it everything you thought it would be? Is it all you thought it would be? Is it all you hoped for?
Sure, I'll write you your own song. Even put your name in the verse.
What was your name?
So when it plays on the radio, people stop you to ask if it hurts. What did you do to deserve it? What did you do so wrong? Maybe next time just think twice before you ask me to write you a song. No, 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 no. This is a song that you made me write. When you hear it, are you thinking of me? This is a song that you made me write. And this is how it goes. You really think you're worth it? I don't think you're worth my time. I think you'll waste it all away. And do you really think you're worth it? I don't think you're worth my time. I think you'll waste it all. You waste it all. This is a song that you made me write. I don't think you're worth my time or worth the song that you made me write. This is a song that you made me write. I don't think you're worth my time. I think you'll waste it all. You waste it all away.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Thank
Thank you.
Guys, for
Wow.
never having done that before, asking to be on this podcast.
I know.
That was incredible. That
Dreams
was,
come true.
We wrote it a few days
that
ago.
was the most amazing improv we've ever seen on this show.
We should give you guys some more time next time.
No, I wish
can
you would have
improvise
prepared
it.
something. That was incredible. Thank you so much for
Yo.
coming
Thank
on
you.
the show, for wanting to be on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. I don't know why you were listening, but that was incredible. So tell me, that's your new single.
That's the new
Yes.
one.
How can
That's our
people
first
how can
single.
people find it besides this podcast?
Firstly, this podcast. Purchase a subscription to Kristen Key's podcast. It may not
Purchase it,
exist,
yeah.
but you can
Yeah.
That'd be
Venmo her
great,
directly.
yeah.
And a subscription.
But yeah, we
Subscribe.
on iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play.
Amazon Music, Spotify.
all that
All you have
good
to do is search The Sam and Tony Show, and the and is that little ampersand symbol. That little.
Oh, I've heard of that.
We've
I've
heard so much
totally heard of
about.
that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you want a special edition of it, you just message us, pay us directly, and we'll come to your house and sing it.
That's
Whoa.
incredible. Yeah.
I was waiting to hear what the special edition was.
Wow.
sure
Like
it
next
was
time
gonna
I
be.
take a bath, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna order me up some Sam and Tony. Play me a little bathtub music.
Yeah, you just pay for the Uber basically.
Uber music.
So how did you write that song?
So that song, kind of how we work. People are always asking us like, how do you two write songs together? We're very fortunate that we can collaborate very well together. But half of our songs start with one of us coming with an idea, like a riff on the piano, guitar, or like a melodic line, or just a lyric of sorts.
Yeah, or like a piece of text, or like just a basic idea of text or something like that.
And that one was like a song from like 10 years ago, though, of like this.
Just the riff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're like, that's cool. And a little.
It's a lot of like
Relax.
piecing together a bunch of just playing around, and then we're like, what's the best sounding of all the playing around, and we smush it together.
It did sound pretty. Instead of being like, I want to go take a poo.
Yeah, that's actually, it was
Yeah.
a toilet song. Sitting on the toilet and don't know what to do, so I'm writing a song about you. Sitting on the toilet and I'm going number 2. And a song in my head, it's about you. Cause you smell like shit, you smell like some stuff. I apologize about what I just said to that person.
When someone
And that's where poop
That's
songs
where I
lead.
get it.
I really like
Slips.
it. Maybe you should rewrite it. Maybe that's the B-side for my bathtub serenade. I'd like the poop song, please.
My poo to you. That's
Poop version.
Our second EP, Poo to You.
So how'd you guys meet?
To you.
Ooh, we were working at the ArcLight Sherman Oaks.
That's right next to
At the ArcLight Sherman Oaks.
You both
should
movie,
probably
movie
sing
theater
Yeah.
Not by choice.
guys? You both worked the movie theater?
We did.
Hmm?
So we're
I worked at the
scooping
movie
pops.
theater as well.
Ooh, which one?
It was in San Marcos, Texas.
San Marcos at the outlets. Is that
That's
right?
right, yeah. You know where it's at.
Yeah.
Don't eat the popcorn, because we found a lot of rat turds in there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Just that first layer. Just like,
That's right.
just don't get down to the
Scoop
bottom.
off the top like you inch yourself.
Eat the fresh stuff.
Did you want salt? Okay. Butter? Fantastic. Could I interest you?
Yeah.
Cover
So
up
did you
the
do
rat
box?
turd.
Did you the concessions box? Did you do it all?
We did all of them. We
Did all
swept
of
up
it.
the theaters, picked up the trash.
Well, if you've been to an ArcLight, I don't know what they do everywhere else in the world, but at the ArcLight, they have a very high standard.
Oh, yes.
And they even have
Only the
people called
best.
greeters who come in before the show. And
Oh, that's my favorite part.
Hello, ma'am. Hello,
It was
sir.
so funny. I have the best. To me, it's the funniest story. We had a new general manager when we were still working there. His name was Anonymous. I'll keep it for now.
Anonymous.
I think there's only one anonymous that has worked there. Then.
Anonymous
So that's the crazy part.
Jones.
Gregorio Anonymous?
But he would like sit in the very back of the theater when I'd be doing my greets, and you explain, this is the movie, the runtime, here's who's in it, whatever. Stay tuned for this preview or whatever. And he would like sit in the very back row of the like 400 seat theater and like hide his head just below the seats. Because he wanted to make sure I was doing the full greet all the time, and he did it for like
He's like a
3 theaters.
quality control troll. Control troll.
Control troll.
Quality
I see you back there, Anonymous. Anonymous Jones.
Everybody give
I
a
have 3
hand to
IMDb
Anonymous.
questions about the following movie.
I don't see anyone in the back row. Raise your hand back there. Is that anonymous?
That was the wrong runtime of the movie.
It's 96 minutes.
It was fun. It was great.
So you met at a movie theater, and you're both like, "We should jam out sometime."
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of like passing in the hallway, being like, that dude's singing all the time, and then that dude's singing all the time, and then eventually we
He
just,
probably thinks he's good.
yeah.
Your musical bow.
Movie hallway
Like
rivals.
musical bros. Sup, bro?
Paint
It's
your
just
wagon.
funny because we both were like in the break room at the same time once. And he was like, yeah, I've produced music. And I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see how good this is. It's that whole like, yeah, we'll see how good this guy's music is. So we traded music first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like sent each other sound files, and I bet we were both like, we'll see if this
I
is
just never
good or
listened
not.
to his, and I was like, that was
Ooh.
great music.
You never
Really
listened?
great. Nah,
Man, I did listen.
I know, right? That's how you
Oh,
get people
Sam.
to
We're
listen.
getting like the behind the music.
Sexy Sam didn't
Send
listen
me your
to
music,
Tony.
I'm gonna listen to it. But here's mine as well.
It's like the here's my card, and you're just like,
So it started with a very one-sided music appreciation.
Apparently.
And I've
Didn't
been
know.
paying
You wanted
for
a
it ever
friendship, and he
since.
just needed another singer in his
Affirmation.
band.
2 ears. I needed 2 ears. No, but I've been paying for it ever since then. So it's like,
How
Yeah.
long ago was this?
probably 3,
Nah,
4.
it's 4 now.
4?
4 now, yeah.
So you
4
remember your anniversary too.
See?
keep
I
it
am
in
the
mind.
man.
I don't even know. I don't
I
know where we
carved
met.
it in my wall at the old.
you were wearing that
Never
one button.
forget.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Right.
Yeah, so it was probably 4 years ago, and when we first started, at the time, I was accompanying a lot of musical improv, and we'd come up with like a 15-minute musical on the spot. And then Tony was like, "Oh, I love writing musicals." You know, he's all like story-driven musician. And so we said, "All right, let's try and just improvise a little musical real quick." So we did a quick 15-minute set. We're like, "Oh, these are cool ideas," and then. From that, I mean, we wrote it all down, and then we were talking about it a little bit. That was fun. Let's try and flesh this out a little bit more. And then we kept meeting over the next, 6, 7, 8 months, and then we ultimately wrote our first full, 2.5-hour musical.
It was really long, yeah.
Well, a 2.5-hour musical?
Yeah, and we got a bunch of wine. We just bought a bunch of wine and invited all our friends and filled up a little 50Z black box. And got them all drunk before and at intermission, and then they stayed, which is great. But mostly because the wine had to.
You're so drunk, I can't drive during intermission. I gotta sober up.
Sober up through Act 2.
What was the first musical called that you guys put together?
Oh, man.
It has a
It's
lot of
currently
names.
Untitled.
It was called The Last DAW.
So what did you invite people to? Come to Untitled and make sure to invite Anonymous.
Invite Anonymous, come see Untitled. Bring
He's
your
got the
rap
midnight
food
shift.
popcorn.
There's a new movie coming open. He's not going to be able to make it.
Slowly working my way.
He's got 14 theaters to troll. I don't know if he's going to be able to.
It was
we were-
called Child of Moonlight for a little bit. Then it was called The Unbound.
Which was quickly.
These are so pretentious.
And then it was, yeah.
And
I
they were
love
like,
it.
"That's dumb."
And then it was called The Last Dawn, as in DAWN,
The
Dawn.
Last Dawn.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
fantasy epic in titles, but
So we were trying to work our way towards not sounding like a bunch of
Pretentious.
douches.
The
Still haven't
greatest
quite
song
gotten there yet.
ever written.
This is the best musical.
Prelude.
Come see it. But yeah, so we wrote that show, and it went really well. Went over really well. We got a lot of great feedback from that show. We actually then wrote our prequel to it.
yeah, we franchised it right away.
Wow.
Yeah, we're
Right off the
popular
bat.
with ourselves.
The Last Sunrise.
The 50 people in that black box were like, you can do this. What happened before that?
Right.
Priest.
Yeah, that became Annabella, our second musical, and that one actually was like an hour and a half. We did it for Fringe, people liked it, and then from there we started getting more commissions for songwriting and for writing musicals, which turned into Trump in Space eventually down the line.
Not that show.
Which
Not
played
that
at
show.
UCB, and then didn't you play part of it at the Burbank Comedy Festival?
Yeah, I think we did the whole thing at.
Good plug.
Thank you
Solid
very
plug.
much.
Burbank
Thank
Comedy
you.
Festival.
Thank
That was
you.
effortless.
It was, where did that take place? Was that right here at Flappers Comedy Club? Yeah, in beautiful Burbank, California, where game shows go to die. It's great. Fantastic. So you did you used to just riff around when you first went to each other's? Play us a little.
Oh.
Tell us
Oh, we
what,
gotta.
what was it like when you first played together?
All right.
We need to preface the environment. So,
Oh, this is part of it.
Yeah.
imagine you're on Van Nuys Boulevard in Sherman Oaks,
Been there, lived there.
right? Great place. Encore Apartments.
I've seen those
Okay.
Hopefully you don't live
in a
there.
porno.
I know those.
Yeah, and there are, speaking of turds, there are turds in the hallway there. So that's
Speaking
cool.
of
So-
turds, there was a big turd.
You're walking down the hallway, right? As you're walking towards my apartment, you see this guy in a rolly computer chair rolling down the hallway with a parrot on his shoulder, talking to the parrot. Also, flying a drone down the hallway. Great, normal. It's LA.
Non-flying parrot.
Yeah, keep the parrot grounded.
He had a drone on
Flying a
his
drone.
shirt. He was flying a parrot.
He's punishing the parrot. If misbehaving. He will never do this.
Punish parrot. Punish the parrot.
So you get to the door and you hear weird sounds coming from it. You knock on the door, right? Sam's already inside. You're going through the face of Tony. You knock on the door. You hear a come on 1 second, and then you hear a yip 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 yip. Little Pomeranian just yipping, right? Great dog. And then you open the door and there's this nice glass mirror, and then there's this cool little one of those three-fold changing.
Oh, partitions?
Is that what it is? Yeah,
I don't know.
Like three folded ones. Anyway, it's all black gothic with a purple sheath around it. That's separating the living room from the kitchen. So you turn into the kitchen, you see really poorly made glass wine glasses, very gaudy. I'm not one for fashion, but I understand. And then out of the secret bedroom, aka dungeon, comes this woman named Breeze.
Breezy, 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 breezy.
She's got a whole look going. It's great. It's great. She will never go out of her room not wearing heels and all done up. Never.
Will not leave the room
Breeze comes
without
out.
makeup.
Very like wispy voice.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm Tony. I have my master's in
Hey,
voice.
I'm Tony, got my master's in voice.
I'm named after the timbre of my own voice.
And so Breeze comes out. And her little dog called Trinket comes out.
Trinky! And Trinky gets another song.
Comes out just after having pooped right next to the toilet in the bathroom, naturally. And then Breeze's daughter
Trinky,
Tatiana
Trinky,
comes out.
Oh, Tatiana. Let's see,
Tatiana.
what's her song? Tatiana gets a song, and let's see. Hi, my name is Tati. Tati, my name is Tati. My name is Tati. My name is. Get inside, Trinky.
Yep.
Wow.
And then she says, Trinky, stop barking. And Trinky does not care. And then Adrian, my other roommate.
Oh, yeah.
So there were 4 humans and 1 dog living in a 1-bedroom apartment separated by one of those little dividers. And then Adrian comes out.
Adrian.
What's up, Tony?
Adrian. What's up, Tony? What's up, man? Yo, yo. What's up,
He sits
Tony?
back down
Yo,
on his
yo.
futon.
What's up, Tony?
And then Sam comes out. Oh, hey, what's up, man? Blah, blah, blah.
What's Sam's song?
It's probably a really cool one.
My name's Sam.
Sam wearing his Power Ranger pajamas.
Power Rangers.
Wait, what?
Not anymore.
Which Power Ranger were they?
The original.
See, now this is weird because that was.
Oh,
a joke,
that's
but-
weird. Me
Alright.
asking
Uh-oh.
which
So
So
Power
you have the
Ranger
original,
were
you have Ninja, you have Turbo. After that, it was Wild Force. No, actually, yeah, before that was Space.
No, I meant Terminator. I meant.
Which Terminator? T600, the original. T1000 from
Why did you
Terminator
ask me so
2.
many
No, I
T1400.
meant Transformers. I meant.
They make
Transformers,
me
great. So
powerful.
we have Dino Thunder in
I feel
addition
good
to.
about myself.
I know the Black Ranger.
Thank you, Roxy.
He's a good dancer.
Oh yeah. So then Sam says.
Sam's
this
not
is a-
wearing those then. Terrible dancer.
He's wearing just normal jeans.
Normal clothes. I'm actually wearing a leather jacket, my Carhartt jacket over that. I have my Timberlands on. It's really great.
You're ready for all weather.
I got my Ugg boots in the backpack.
Boots and cats and boots and cats.
So then we come out, we pour a few glasses of wine, and we're like, all right, let's get the music
Tony,
started.
have a glass of wine.
We start jamming
I'm
out.
not trying to seduce you, just have a glass of wine.
So we go to Google and we look up a random word generator, and then we hit click, 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 double word. What's our double word generator song? What's our double word random word generator?
Literally just say 2 words right now.
Iron fisted.
Iron fisted.
Yes.
Iron fisted.
And then we go, all right, this is the song about the iron fist.
I used to have a normal hand. I used to be able to only use my hand for normal things. Then I ran into a magic man. He said, brother, you wanna have some magic things? I said, I want an iron fist. An iron fist. I wanna be able to crush little kids. I want an iron fist. Want an iron fist. Wanna be able to crush little kids.
And we hear a door open. We hear,
God, that song is beautiful. Who wrote that? What song is that?
This is Breezy.
I was
Breeze,
listening
Breeze,
through
come
the
in.
trees and I heard you saying something magical. My name is Breeze and I love that song. What took you so long to write something magical?
and then that's basically
Trinky, get inside!
that's kind of how our next like year and a half went.
Wow.
Etc. Etc. Oh, thank you, Roxy.
Wow, that's exactly how I met my first girlfriend.
Oh,
No. That's awesome. That's incredible. So, were your roommates super annoyed by all the music coming out of you and your
They
and your
actually-
new friendship?
no, that's been one thing we've been very fortunate. Well,
Yeah.
him less than me, but my roommates have always been very cool about the music. I don't know if they like it or if they're like, you know, I'll ask for a favor later on down the road.
It's like when you don't say something early enough and you let it keep going, and then it gets so.
I was trying to be
huge.
encouraging of their Iron Fist song,
Yeah.
and now it's like every morning with the Power Ranger pajamas and more songs.
When they moved in here,
Cereal!
they were working
I'm
at a
gonna
movie
eat some
theater.
cereal.
Power Rangers and Terminator.
It's just too big to squish after a while, you know.
I used
Too
to
big
have a
squish.
friend that was an opera major.
Yeah.
And I went to visit her once, and she lived with 3 other opera singers, and it was legit. Everyone, I'm gonna get my hairbrush. I'm like, shut up. You don't have to sing it. And I like music.
But we do.
Absolutely, we
do.
hairbrush.
Pop Tarts. I made a Pop Tart. Shut up. So
You only left the blueberry without the frosting.
I've got another STD.
Well, I was just concerned about the frosting. You should have gone first.
Should have gone first.
That was actually Tony's major in college.
Opera?
Opera singer,
He's got a master's.
Wow.
I do.
That's better than a bachelor in opera.
It's more expensive than a bachelor's, that's for sure.
I got my
About
bachelor in
3
opera.
times as much, especially when you're out of state. For me not to sing at the LA Opera, it seems kind of insignificant now.
Maybe somebody from the LA Opera is listening to our podcast right now. And at the end of the episode, I'm going to get a Facebook message. It's like, oh my God, can I be on your podcast? It
I
has
really like
nothing to
that
do with your
opera
career
guy.
opportunity.
My name is Sukalos Anonymous. I'd like to be on your podcast.
They just want to be on it. They're like, yeah, I'm glad we didn't hire that guy.
We have a list of people that want to be on our podcast. That's not true. I think we're booked up through like,
Anonymous.
I know at least December.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Roxy the Fox knows how to get people.
Man.
Killing the game.
Well, I know.
See the fox.
But nobody came on this way.
Yeah.
We got
How
it.
way?
But
Oh,
we
this
saw
this
our
way.
great friends,
Yeah.
Kindred Throats.
Oh yeah.
Kindred Throats were so much fun to have
Todd
on
and
too.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Aren't they awesome?
So do
Oh yeah, I didn't know that was their name.
circles
Todd
getting
Gay.
smaller with musical comedy. And you guys, it's like you put the musical in musical comedy because we know a lot of comedy musicians, but we don't know a lot of comedy musicians that write comedy musicals.
Oh, right on.
Great segue, Kristen.
I was gonna say it,
that's the
but it
second
sounds
one.
better when someone else compliments me. Thanks, dope compliment. So talk to me about the difference between writing a little, 3-minute ditty and writing a 2.5-hour pretentious as shit. I'm
Maybe
sorry.
maybe just the title is pretentious.
Sean, why don't you take this one? Ask this question that I'm trying to think
Guys,
of.
essentially, what is the difficulty between writing just one song versus conceptually coming up with a whole theme for a show and
Bonus points for
providing
using
variety within the songs that you are writing?
It's like 3 months worth of whiskey.
Oh yeah, we could keep Maker's Mark in business.
Yeah.
Love
It's
it.
how
Looking for
much-
sponsors, Maker's Mark. I don't
Maker's
drink,
Mark
but
you'll have.
maybe we'll give it to them.
I mean, yeah, literally just obviously getting the fleshed out story is for sure huge. And for us, when we write it, because we are so heavy into music as well, we like to come with either what serves the story, or sometimes we're like, oh, this could be a fun number. Let's test this and see where we can make this fit.
like
So come
that.
with the music first.
I think if we find a good world to live in with the show, that's when we know we have somewhere to go.
So talk to me about Trump in Space.
Trump in space. Good. So some shows are like all us coming, like I said, like just building like a mental playground for ourselves, like Fairy Tale Italy, for example, for like Annabella and The Last Dawn and all those other titles. But then somebody comes to us with some, usually a script, maybe half formed or fully formed lyrics, and they kind of have an idea of styles they want, or if they want it to be, they're like, this one should be funnier, this one should be more of a ballad. So they come with ideas, but Sam and I like to sometimes play around with the expectation of what the song should be. So even if the material is comedic, I think some people think comedic material doesn't mean it doesn't have to be like musically sophisticated.
Thank you.
But our fun with it,
You're welcome.
our fun with it
Was
is
that the
that
bait? Was that
we
the
take
bait?
what seems that's the bait. We take what seems like maybe it could be just a really simplistic, oh, this will just be a driving ballad. This will just be, a few chords and have some fun. And we just like throw in fugues and people riffing over each other and harmonies, and we just like to make it musically very meaty so the experience feels complete. You want to legitimize the jokes and immerse them in the world with immersion in the world. I think is the key. I've kept saying it like 10 times, so obviously
Immersion
that's
in the world, immersion in the world, immersion
a Martian in the world, a Martian in the world, a
Immersion
Martian in the
of the
world.
world.
One
Immersion,
Martian.
Immersion.
Anonymous.
My immersion's name is Merle. My immersion's name is Merle.
But really, honestly, the real truth is we just want to make sure our names look good. We don't care about the other.
When it comes down to it, do you
Back to
like
the
the song?
vanity.
Do you like the song?
Yeah.
Is there anything from Trump in Space that you could play?
Yeah, what do you want?
Putting you on the spot.
That's a good. Yeah. Yeah. I know enough to it.
Cool.
So all right, that's
sure.
the reason
And
we
switch.
just did that was because we both wrote the music, but Tony's been musical directing Trump in Space for the last like 6-7 months. So Sam doesn't know.
What is a
Love
musical
song?
director?
Is it gonna be the love song?
The love song. Ooh.
Oh,
You're
we've
gonna
got
get a love song.
We've
later.
got a love song for you later. So we'll do
Subvert
something that's a little more.
expectations.
You're gonna get a love song.
Okay.
Get those giggles out now because that love song.
They giggle all the way through that love song.
Okay.
Wow,
Ooh, wow,
that threw
that's-
me off. It's easy to make me laugh if you notice. If you just do anything that's even.
Oh man,
This
I
is
thought
the
we were
best
being
episode
great.
we've ever had.
I
laugh
agree, this is so fun.
hard. I laugh so easily. Opportunity?
Yeah, so this is a great one. The initial. So we'll just tell you the initial. Wait, should we tell them after the title of it?
Yeah. We'll give them some setup because this one I think. So there is a fleet of starships called the Trumps because they're descendants and followers of Trump after he blew up the planet Earth. And then there's a fleet of starships led by the starship California, and they're all in blue. So you have these two warring factions. And the creed of the Trump fleet is opportunity at all cost. So this song is called Opportunity at All Cost, and it's about all the it's like the bad guys song. They're singing about what they would do to beat the blue guys.
Cool.
The USS California.
So it's fun to write from the bad guys' point
It's
of view. It
heavily
can be like
featuring Sam
evil.
on harmony.
Wow.
Scary.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, Opportunity at All Costs. Grovel, 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 grovel. We only do as we're told. Doesn't pay to be brazen or bold. They don't ask my opinion, so I don't give it. It's not as bad as it seems. Just a cog inside a machine. If things go bad, hey, we didn't outlive it. Asking questions is not my job. Without dear leader, I'd be lost. Just push forward with fingers in your ears. Opportunity at all cost, all cost. Now you know the things to do. Remember there's no I in crew. And if you know what's good for you, there'll be money in your pocket. Never rock the boat, fall in line with your vote when they tell you to launch that rocket. Even when it seems that all is lost, opportunity at all cost. Opportunity at all. Grovel, 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 grovel. All the bad guys are groveling. Grovel, 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 grovel. Sometimes I lay in bed awake at night and wonder if I'm doing wrong by never raging at the dying of the light. Is my moral center strong? No! And now you know the things to do. Remember there's no I in crew. And if you know what's good for you, there'll be money, there'll be money, there'll be money. Never rock the boat, fall in line with your vote when they tell you to launch that rocket. Even when it seems that all is lost, opportunity at all cost. Opportunity at all cost. Opportunity at all cost. Opportunity at all cost.
Oh my God.
Scary.
That was really fun. Wow.
I like like
now
fake laughing
Sam and I will
instruments.
do what we do and switch instruments.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
you're
he can
switch
play
hitters.
too.
Yeah.
Better than
in
me.
regards to like the difference of writing a musical, that song when it first came to us was not called Opportunity at All Cost. It was literally called Grovel, Grovel, Grovel.
Grovel, grovel, grovel.
And we're like, grovel, grovel,
Grovel, grovel, grovel.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Beetlejuice.
Grovel, grovel, grovel.
Yeah, no, my experience with you guys has always been through the musical improv community, and what I love about that is like your ability to on the fly just sort of go like, this is the feeling of this song, this is the feeling of these characters, of this world, of this moment, and kind of just like on the fly. I've been so marveled and impressed every time I've seen you guys accompany someone, because it's just like, yep, you captured it, and you can see the improv.
That to the test.
But they did.
I think it's time for an audience suggestion.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I know. Roxy, check the computer. Roxy,
Checking.
go to the computer. See if anybody said anything.
Check the computer for messages from.
Do we have any computer checking music? That's perfect. That's perfect right there.
That's it.
She's checking deep into the cockles of
The cockles
the mind
of
of the
this place.
computer to see if any of our listeners have suggested anything. Because I have an idea. If not, I've always wanted. Well, we're going to check back with Roxy.
Do you want your life to be underscored by the Sam and Tony show?
Yes.
We do that.
We just charged the Uber.
Oh my god.
Oh man! If you guys just got into an Uber pool and was just like, just let us casually underscore what you're saying. We're not eavesdropping. We're a company.
We're a company man.
Okay, someone has a question.
Okay.
They're asking when you
Who is it, by the way?
It
Anonymous?
is
Your old boss?
What is the runtime?
Jared.
Anonymous Jones. Do I?
Jared. Anonymous Jared
Okay.
Jared.
is asking when you accompany an improvised scene, like, do you ever mess up?
Oh,
Like,
the best part is that you'll never know. If I say it in here, you'll never know. Because then we just change keys.
Mistakes are the best because then we just you
Change
just roll with the
You're like,
mistake.
oh.
Ooh, that was a pretty mistake.
See, and then you just keep going.
Nailed it.
Yeah. If we do make
Self-talk,
mistakes,
self-talk.
our job is to not let you know we made a mistake. So hopefully we do that.
But yes, I mean, probably 50% of what we play is a mistake. And then just the other 50 is covering up the mistake. So we start with a mistake and cover it up. And
Nice.
then play the show that
So
way.
it'd be more like 10%, 90%.
I like that face though. That like oh kind of face is the perfect way. It's like, well, look at this happening
Yeah.
now.
Where you're like, I want to play this. Ooh, that's not right, but it is now. It's like a weird wonky happy dance, and
Yeah,
you're like,
you're like, oh, I pulled out to let that musical line like really shine.
let
Yeah.
it breathe, right? Yeah. They say silence is sometimes 10 times better.
Silence
What,
is
say it
Sometimes
10
10
times.
times.
better.
I'm gonna
oh,
speak
here's
into
another
this.
question from
Uh-oh.
Jennifer.
Jennifer
Hi,
Anonymous?
Jennifer. First time
Jennifer.
caller, long time listener.
She's asking, did you ever want to be, other than opera, Sam, I think, did you want to be a famous singer?
It's Tony. She's talking about Tony. Tony's the. see,
That's Kristen.
By the
this
way,
is Sean.
here's
I
the-
am Sam.
This is the mnemonic device that I used for these guests. I'm Kristen, pink shirt Kristen. This is sensational Sean. Sexy Sam.
I get it.
And Tony looks like, hey, he runs a pizza shop.
On the pizza.
Gabagool.
That's
our
my
number.
mnemonic device.
Sexy Sam. Tony made me a pizza. So if you have trouble, just remember that.
This
Sexy
is
Sam.
for
Tony
Sam.
made me a pizza.
Oh, it is
It
We
is
know
for
that
Sam.
Tony wanted to do opera, but she's asking if Sam ever wanted to be a famous,
A famous
Musician.
opera singer?
no, famous singer.
Oh, who is this?
I think she's
Jennifer?
vaguely asking if you're single.
Jennifer, I still want to be a famous
This is a veiled
musician. So
attempt at-
Right, have you given up on that yet? Is
I'm still
Jennifer,
going.
I'm not
I'll
looking
still
for
go
fame
in.
right now, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm really non-committed to fame at the moment. I'm just exploring my
I'm
fame
enjoying
options.
what my life is.
If
No,
money
yeah.
finds its way into my hat, it does.
I just want someone to discover me. I don't really write music ever. I just like go.
I bet she would
throughout the
discover
street.
you.
That got a thumbs up.
Yeah, she'll give you a
Ah.
thumb.
Yeah, you
I know where
thumbs
she
that
wants to
up.
put that thumb.
Discover that.
Tony
She's
made me a
withholding on the
pizza.
heart though. Like there's a big
The heart will come.
emotion
How do we
now.
win your heart, Jennifer? How do we win-
So, This leads me to exactly what I wanted you to write a song about, since all of our suggestions have been questions. Which, good job, audience. You're doing great.
Question
Thanks. I'm just
suggestions.
happy that you're typing into your keyboards. So thumbs up from Kristen.
Yes, and Jared.
Yeah. Right. Improv me a song about the ideal woman for Sam and Tony as a duo.
Oh.
What are you looking for in a lady? The Sam and
At the
Tony
same
show
time?
at the same time.
Oh, wait.
What? No, this is
I put it in E.
I got that.
Make it bluesy. Make it something bluesy in E. That'd be fun.
Lucy?
Why not? That doesn't fit love, does it?
This is. That's an E.
Do it.
I'm an E now. Our perfect woman.
It doesn't matter. Perfect woman doesn't have to be an E.
I started in D because
She needs
he
to have
didn't
perfect
mean
D's.
to.
Just put that
Yeah,
face
I
on like.
I didn't mean to. All right, we're in E now. But my right hand keeps going to D. You want blues?
I mean,
This is
Kinda.
We'll like hybrid blues, sensual jazz.
I got you.
oh, that's pretty. I can picture her already. Tell me about her.
We had to say it at the same time. Let's try at the same time.
Oh, the same. Oh man.
The ideal woman has brown eyes. Has brown eyes. The ideal woman can see. The ideal woman likes to feed us. Feed me.
Both of us.
The ideal woman likes to go to the movies. You take it.
The ideal woman could sing a song out of nothing. The ideal woman will stay up late and watch whatever show I'm watching. The ideal woman doesn't mind my microwave chicken and how it smells like a really bad stuffed my ideal woman.
Ready? The ideal woman drinks whiskey and gin. Ideal woman can speak more languages.
More than languages.
Ideal woman can accompany us with you. The ideal woman is not you. Because if you're ideal, you're gonna get chewed up and spit out by our idiosyncrasies, our strangeness. The ideal woman is gonna get turned off by us because the ideal woman doesn't get our checklist, a rubric, a quota for being ideal. The ideal woman doesn't like us.
Yeah. We have an ideal woman, but she's usually like, yeah, I meet all that criteria. No, not
You're
it.
so picky. You're so picky. She has to see. Can't see.
Gotta be able to breathe on her own.
She speaks more than language.
Will not fix your CPAP in the middle
What
of
is
the
that?
She likes the smell of his microwave chicken. That's a hard one.
That is-
Because no one likes.
Well, so my sister just moved into town from New Jersey, so I flew out there and drove back into town with her. And she, it's great.
It's a long drive.
It was a very long drive. It's a lot of love, a lot of miles for a lot of love. But
Wow.
one of
We
the
don't
things
speak
that,
anymore.
One of the things that she keeps bringing up is, "Are you making chicken?" Yes, I'm gonna like feed myself.
Right, like an adult.
Oh, it smells so bad.
To be
Thank
fair, it has a very distinctive stench.
My microwave chicken. And then when I was crashing at Tony's place before we got our new place, his roommates were like, "What is that smell?"
Every
Microwave
day at
chicken.
lunchtime.
What kind of chicken?
It's just regular grilled chicken breast from Ralph's. I just hate cooking. So then when I'm ready to eat, it's 2 minutes
Grab a
in the
raw
microwave.
chicken, pop it raw ass in the microwave, set it to 15.
Walk around with
Comes
it in my
out
hand
white.
and just
Ah!
When it's pink on the inside, that's when you know it's almost done. You gotta bite into it first.
Dear woman doesn't catch that chicken disease.
immune to it.
Wow.
Dear woman's immune to salmonella.
Salmonella.
That's her name.
Salmonella.
Salmonella
Salmonella,
Anonymous.
Manila
The
Anonymous.
Salmonella Show.
Ha, the Salm and
Somewhere there's
it's
a duo
Sal
forming
ampersand.
right now.
Yeah.
Salmon Tony show.
The
Salm
Salmon
ampersand.
Tony show.
Salmon Tony.
Somebody that plays like, I play the washer, well I play the spoons.
I made the drive.
My friends say I'm funny. Let's join up. I work
Right.
at the movie theater. I could be as famous as those chuckleheads.
Who are those people
We
on?
have another suggestion.
Ooh.
What?
actually, From
Oh my God.
someone
Jennifer.
chatting with us. They want a song about animals.
Animals.
Never heard of him.
Happy animals or like
Puppies.
disgruntled zoo animals?
Puppies.
Puppies?
Disgruntled
We'll
puppies.
need help.
Disgruntled
from Kristen
puppies.
and Sean.
E.
Great kid.
Like they're in like a dog pound.
Disgruntled puppies.
Who eat chicken.
There was a little puppy. He was the run to the litter. There was a little puppy. He was the run to the litter. He thought, I'm disgruntled. I'm gonna be my own critter. He went down to the bookstore. Went down to the bookstore.
Puppy
He
Creed.
went down to the bookstore. He went down to the bookstore. He says, I'm gonna learn about how to build my own doggy door.
One way to go there.
He went to the Home Depot.
Went to Home Depot.
He went to Home Depot. Yeah, the little puppy. He went to Home Depot. He said, I ain't gonna get scratched by kitty cats no more. You take the next verse.
Oh, I'm a little bit of puppy walking down the road, walking down the road. And I just walked past the Home Depot, but I don't need that wood anymore. All I need is a little plastic door and some screws so I can escape my owner's house. In the middle of the night, there's a puppy club, a puppy club. I'm going to going to the puppy club. Got some other puppy babes around. I'm looking for my ideal puppy woman. She's singing a song and she doesn't know that I'm walking along. And someday I'm gonna find my puppy lady tonight in my doggy door. That's about as good as that's gonna get.
These are animals. You're animals.
Take my mic.
So a disgruntled puppy
Disgruntled puppies made the list.
went to learn about how to build something.
Wanted to build a
Doggy
doggy door and then was looking for love.
You're just looking for love. You wanted to go to the woof woof.
But he was
You-
working on
It's a
himself
doggy nut.
first.
You dog. Go. He
Hard
wagged
day
his-
at doggy door making. You gotta.
When I saw that tail walking, a woof woof. Just a wagging.
He's wagging that tail all down.
Yeah.
Speaking of animals,
For sure.
Yeah, we got time for one more song, I think, from you guys.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I think
Time
the
flew
same
today,
one,
by
right?
the way.
That's because we're having fun.
We're having fun. Just this is perfect time for animals.
Perfect.
Yes. We have
Guys,
our own
also, we've been
animal.
crushing
Yes.
the segues today as well. I feel like every bit has gone into another bit.
My uncle has a Segway.
Does he crush it? Does he crush it, Christine?
What's a segue?
It's a motorized.
Speaking of which,
moving-
It's like when you
Speaking of
talk in
segues.
between different things.
speaking of segues, that's good. I'll give you.
I
I'll
remember
lift
when
my mic
those
again.
were coming out, and I had this really nerdy friend that was like, "It's gonna change the world. The world's never gonna be. It's this new invention. It's gonna change the world." And they unveiled it, and it was cool on like Good Morning America for like a week, and that was it. And
I
now you
love
can do tours.
The
Yeah.
guy that made it died on one.
Whoa.
The guy that made a Segway, he drove it off a cliff. Because he
Yep.
was like, no, it
Yep.
can't stop. Oh, if I was just walking, this wouldn't be a problem. And he said that the whole way down.
That's important.
Yes.
I don't know. You haven't mentioned this yet. And now we don't have time. So play that kitty.
The whole time people have
Play
just
the
been like,
kitty cat.
All right,
What
who's
is
our?
that
This
cat?
is you can. This is Catherine. For those that can't see, we have a little
Hello,
orange
Catherine.
cat from
Catherine.
Target.
Wow.
We found her at Target after many visits and playing her while we looked for board games. We were like, we'll just buy her and bring her home. And you can follow the adventures of Catherine on our Instagram
I'm gonna.
page.
I'm totally gonna.
We
Yeah.
were like, we'd go to Target to buy these board games. 2 grown men with beards and
the one on Sepulveda.
slummy clothes. The Sepulveda one. It's a great one. So you go to the back, right?
Yep.
And like, oh, board games. But as you're walking through, you have to go through the kids section. And
Yeah.
we saw this cat piano where, excuse me? And so we got one and found out you can only play 2 notes at the same time. So then I've got 10 fingers. I don't know about you, but I was getting 2 cat
I'm really
pianos.
sensitive about it.
At least 10.
I only got 4. So I got 2 pianos. Tony got 2 cat pianos, and we're just jamming. And parents are walking down like, you can get out of this kids section anytime you want. So we'd go back, once a week to play with the cat pianos, and then eventually realized they were probably
We just
gonna kick
realized
us
she
out
was the
and
cat for
bought
us.
Welcome,
Ideal woman.
Catherine.
The ideal
Ooh.
woman plays instrument.
it. All right. This is that love song. That's in tune enough, right?
That sounds very in tune.
That's
To the average
You gotta
listener.
have a little less than perfect. All right. This is called Lovesick Love Song.
Catherine chills for a little while, but then you'll see her.
I was gonna ask, where's Catherine?
I bet you never noticed me before. Admit you can't ignore a note on your windshield or 3 or 4, and you won't look me in the eye. I know you can't deny you feel a connection that can't be defined. It'd be nice if you called me or just give me a ring. Sometimes I get lonely when you're doing your thing, like getting around. You're always getting around with everyone but me. You make me lovesick when you are gone, and still I'm lovesick when you're around. You see, I'm lovesick. I'm coming down with a case of you. If that's what it takes to la 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 love you. But I la la love sick love song. Ooh la 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 love you. La 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 love sick love song.
I know it's late and all, I still decided to call to prove my devotion. I wrote you a song. Took me half a week, forgot to sleep, forgot to eat, didn't even think to change my clothes. But isn't that how love goes? Who's that voice in the background? Is that your friend Kyle? The guy that sleeps over once in a while. Does he like it too? You always wanted a song to make out to. You make me lovesick
when you are gone and still lovesick. When you're around, you see I'm lovesick. I'm coming down with a case of you, if that's what it takes to. Ba-dum, 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 ba-boom, wa-ba-da-da-ba-dum. Ba-dum, 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 ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-boom, ba-da-da-da. You're always getting around, meow, meow. When are you getting around to me? La, 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 love you. Ba-da-ba-da-la, love, sick love song. Ooh, la, 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 love you. Blah, 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 blah. Love, sick love song.
I love her so much.
How do you go? No, this is gonna stay
I
here.
love her so much. I know I'm gonna go buy one. Guys, if you've enjoyed the Sam and Tony show, please check them out. They have Instagram, they have Facebook, they have Twitter, they have a website. It's thesamandtonyshow.com. They're fantastic. Buy all of their songs off iTunes. They have their single, love song that you made me write.
Song you made me write.
That we open the show with.
This is our song.
You guys are incredible. Is there anything else that you'd like to plug?
No, come check out Trump in Space at Second City Hollywood. It opens Friday the 22nd, runs all the way to December.
Fantastic. It's
Every
been so
Friday
great
at
to
8.
have you on the show. And guys, thank you for listening. Thank you as always to Flappers Comedy Club. Thank you to my co-host Sean Fisher. You can
Thank
check out my
you.
website, kristenkey.com, and listen every Monday at 2 p.m. to this podcast. We're going to be on the Flappers Facebook page. I'm Kristen Key, and this has been
Songs in the key of funny. Funny songs and the stories behind them.
Right.
Tight.
That was
I know.
good.
Yeah.
Crushing the game.
Thanks. I know. I think that's it.